Hey everyone, this is your pal Drew. I didn't plan on making another video anytime soon, but I came across this recently looking in a back issue for reference, and I thought I'd make a little episode around it. The reason this is special is it's my very first comic book ever. The first one I read, the first one I bought. Well, I got it at a hospital. There was a hospital where my dad was getting back surgery, and they had a gift shop down below, and they had all kinds of toys and stuff. They had one comic book, and this was it. And when I saw this, everything around was a blur. I didn't give a shit. This just caught me right away. And why not? Because it's John Romita Sr. And it's amazing how much energy is into this image. If someone told you to draw a superhero lying over his dead girlfriend with a bunch of enemies around, make that exciting, I don't think a lot of people could really do that without looking ridiculous. But Romita, you look at Cap's posture. That's everything right there, the posture. And look at the sinews on him. Look, he's like a tightly coiled spring, like a heavy manufacturing version of a spring, ready to make these bastards sorry that they killed Sharon. But they didn't really, as anybody who knows. Well, starts off with Gil Kane layouts and inks by John Romita, and Gary Friedrich did the writing. Now, Kane, everyone my age, a lot younger as well, hopefully. Kane was just a master of storytelling and anatomy. That posture is so great. And just everybody keeping busy up. But I just love that pose. Because he can just be standing there like, oh, yeah. And he gives the troops a pep talk, and they go, Hail Hydra. And a nice Gil Kane up the nose shot. You always got to have one of those. I know a lot of younger people goof on them, but I always thought it was kind of cool. Well, Cap gets called in the middle of the night. Sharon gets called in the middle of the night. She's naked. Jeez, oh Pete. For a minute, initially I thought, am I supposed to be reading this? Because I'm real little. I'm not even in grade school. I like the wordless page there. It just says everything. There's no need to go into it. I always wondered who did this stuff for Lee Jeans. I don't know. I kind of like the artists. Probably like a Charlton artist that was affordable. So you got, Nick's got the old stogie going, and shows up the Femme Force with Contessa, what's her name? Something, long name. She is the second in command of this squad called the Femme Force, which basically it's what it described. It's a group led by women, and this was during when women's lib was starting up, and women were able to get jobs that were previously denied to them. So, I guess Gary took the ball and ran with it and decided why not do it in S.H.I.E.L.D. And Sharon Carter, Cap's girlfriend, she's supposed to be ramrodding this force. Well, she shows up eventually. Sorry I'm late. The rest of the force moved into the new chamber 5 seconds early before shove off. That's a lie. You waited until 5 seconds late to shove off. Don't call me a liar. Blah, 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 blah. Poorest excuse I ever heard. Now maybe I know why I was against the Femme Force. Blah, 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 blah. And Cap says, "What's up, Fury? Surely you didn't get me out of bed to help calm down a couple of Hellcats. It'd probably take both of us to separate them two if they really wanted to go." So, they both apologize, but Val's like really trying to get a piece of Cap. She says, "I don't blame you. I'd do anything for a hunk of a man like Captain America." Ted Hutt, okay, it's all over. Let's get to work. So Contessa, I can't. You can leave comments below because I don't remember her name. I'm usually really good at that. Well, Hydra's doing stuff again, and boy, I love that close up there. It's like Romita's inking is so brash, but it works. That's a great shot there too. And like I said, these kind of pages. I mean, I see a lot. I've inked a lot of these kind of pages had maybe a similar setup, but were stodgy and stiff because some artists they wouldn't see the potential energy suggested in a still figure. They would just be like, oh, ho, hum, la, la, la. Well, there's the helicarrier. And here comes, look at that tech. Oh my gosh. Captain America and the Fem Force will be ours. It's called Skyjack because this was becoming a terrible international situation where planes would get hijacked. So it's somewhat, I don't want to say it was timely or whatever, but it more inspired this kind of story. So yeah, they're getting along, schmooch. Is this a private club game or can someone sit in? Oh, it's Agent 19. And she comes, sits down, and Sharon's like, we're simply dying for some company on this long, boring flight. And I'm a little kid. I'm like, why are they yelling at each other? Well, you're asking about this one agent that he had never seen before, and Cap does not trust her. Magna clamps down, contact. Look at the excitement and a frozen moment of fear. I mean, Cap's pretty fearless, but like if you catch him in a split second like that, and you're on a plane, and another plane is, is like humping you. Well, yeah. I mean, that's pretty bad. Okay, here we go. Now action starts. That the woman he suspected up to shenanigans was actually a traitor. I know exactly what I'm doing. Hail Hydra. Look at how this flows. Oh. And everyone's dazed because nobody was ready. It was just incredibly quick. And a little melodrama, but I love it. Because I have to use my shield, but dare I risk it? Should hit the side of the cabin and pierce it. The plane would go down like a rock, but I have no chance. And pray my aim is on target. Zach. Captain America. Beautiful. I love it. I mean, Kane is so great at that action. Look at that. That's a tricky pose. You don't see that kind of stuff. I know I keep saying, it's like an old man, but I'm sort of an old man. I'm working on it. So Val, she's like, come on, girls. Come on, gals. They're only men. It doesn't cut any ice on us. So she sort of rescues Cap, and, she's just hitting on him big time while they're fighting. And he's like, our Agent 13 dies. What do I do? Well, this amazing splash page. This chapter, pencil and inks were by John Romita, as it says at the bottom. And wouldn't you love to have that page in your collection? That's just beautiful. Now that looks like it really hurts, that first panel. There's so much speed in it. And he protects Val from something, and she kisses him. I'm gonna rip your new ass. Anyway, this page here, beautiful. Probably the most desirous of any of the of this comic for sure, but maybe even the Romita run. I could be wrong. And you know what? I know who has his original art, but I can't say. I have signed a letter in the events of my death. What should happen, but I'm not going to say who did it. But really good guy who I like has it, and he had showed it to me. And I was just boggled and restrained from running away with it. Oh. And the Falcon gets up. He just gets this premonition. He takes off. He doesn't have his flight wings yet, so he was he would swing, on the top of the buildings and such, like Spider-Man and Daredevil and all that. Well, Cap, you okay? You hurt? And this is silly, but they needed a what do they call those? I'm just totally out of words today. They needed a cliffhanger, so he's about to shoot. Enough time. Sharon says, "Look out! He's got a drop on you. Hit the deck, Steve, I'll block the shot." "No, you'll be killed," says the man with an indestructible shield. So she kind of needlessly lets rap with Cap. Okay, throw down some tunes and some beats, and I'll rap with Cap any day. Well, she gets blasted. "I'll tear every one of you apart with my bare hands. She can't be dead, I swear. Neither you or any other vermin who wears the colors of Hydra will live to see another day." "Says who? She's just another broad." "You devil! She was the woman I loved, and if she's dead, I swear to you, you're going to pay." Cap's revenge, Nuff said. Boy, that Nuff said, that showed up a lot in that era, and I kept, like a lot of kids, I've compared with other fanboys from, that age group, and we always said, "Who the hell is Nuff?" Nuff instead of enough. That was just a phrase that was going around, I think, everywhere, but, I didn't know about it. It's like, well, who the hell is Nuff? Well, okay, the book's over, and that's pretty cool back ad there. And, I enjoyed it. What's so amazing about this book is I had the next issue I picked up, the next issue I ever got was years later. My dad took me to National Record Mart in Monroeville, and he let me pick some comics out, so I picked out Captain America, and the one I picked up was Captain 180, which was 1975, so there was a long wait between us. And then 1980, the issue 180, Sharon's there walking along with him, and they're talking, and he had retired from being Cap and all this stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, she didn't die. It was just kind of weird. But as a kid, I'd start over from the cover, read all the way through it, and see that dramatic ending, and I was still in, still like charged up for this cliffhanger. And that's a sign of a good book. I've reread this a billion times. Just beautiful art. And Romita did Cap for about a year because the sales were really poor. And then Sal Buscema came on board, and Steve Englehart, more importantly, well, I wouldn't say more importantly, hand in hand, they in tandem, they became the Cap team, and they did it for several years, and it's like one of the most revered runs of Captain America's comics ever. And, I just want to show you what a book without a fight on the first cover, with a cliffhanger that is going to be resolved, is still endlessly rereadable. And here's the funny thing. People always say, "Oh, my mom threw all my comics away, la 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 la," and they thought I was stupid or I was getting too old. Well, my mom actually threw this away, but not for the usual reason. Check it out. I was reading this a lot. I'm on the couch, and I had it, and then one time I found out it was torn up in the garbage. And I asked my mom, I said, "What'd you do that for?" She said, "Oh, you were done with it, right?" And she, not a comics fan, she just assumed it was like a newspaper. You read it, you rip it up in the garbage and toss it. This is before recycling became a really big thing. And she did this with one other book of mine, and I was just I wasn't a Hellraiser. I was kind of, oh man, but I never resented her for it. It's always, I just think it's funny. She had it ripped up very neat, just like she did the newspaper. You read it, you put it away when you're done, and but I got it back years later, and wow, it's just so great. It's just that energy. I'm going to start repeating myself over and over again, right? And later on, Falcon's going to have a much more a larger presence with his fighting in supervillains with Captain America, as well as being a social worker in Harlem and also fighting crime in Harlem. But everybody knew Sam Wilson because he was the social worker that knew how to deal with people pretty much more than anybody. So that's what... Oh, I'm going to cough. Damn it. Good Lord. My throat got dry. All right, well, that's it. That's all I got to say. Hope you like it, and have a good day. Bye.